Good morning, everybody. It is our Facebook Live interview for this week, and this is the first one in our new group in terms of its new name, which is really exciting. So, Creative Spiritual Productivity Rebels. And this morning we are going to be joined by the gorgeous Fiona Hurle. So, Fiona, if you can see me going live in the group, if you can post that you are here, if you see an ad little message, if you can click on that and I'll have you come on. I'm really looking forward to speaking with Fiona. And while I'm waiting, I will just ask you, how do you think things are going with this new group name at the theme days, and anything, please, anything that you want to feedback to me in terms of suggestions for anything in relation to the group. Whether it be the theme days, the sorts of things, and especially the sorts of things that you'd like to get out of the group. Hello, Joy. Lovely to see you, darling. You in Hobart still? Am I right? I think I just saw some photos of you and George going and having a lovely walk around Hobart Town, which is one of my favourite places on earth. So that's gorgeous, yeah. As I was saying, any suggestions that you have for, yes, oh, that's lovely. Is it really cold or is it actually not too bad? Because, of course, Hobart being south of Australia and our gorgeous Apple Isle, as they call it, Tasmania, can get a little bit cool, but absolutely gorgeous. Well worth a visit if anyone hasn't been before. It's really beautiful. Yes, any comments that anybody has, and especially, and I'm going to be putting a post in the group next week, what are the sorts of things you'd like to see in the group more? What are the things around particularly, topics for me to be doing Facebook Lives, areas of productivity that you have challenges with that you would like to learn more about? And of course, Fiona, here she is, gorgeous. I was just finished when I was just saying that. And in fact, I will, hopefully a message will come up, Fiona, that I can actually, because all it says is wave right now. So I can wave to you. I know that you're here. Actually, if I click on that, I can add you. That's it. So, yes, people want to, darling, anything with regards to what you would like to see of the group, support with regards to productivity, creative, spiritual. And here she is. Hello, how are you?
I'm well. Thank you so much for having me.
You're so welcome, and I appreciate your time and your energy. So thank you so much, Fiona. And so, yeah, can I start off by, of course, I have a group description, your bio, but if I can ask you in your own words, what is it that you actually do? How do you support women in business? What is your business about?
Yeah, great. It's funny because it's been evolving over the years, as I'm sure that lots of women in business, involved.
So true.
Yeah. So what I do right now is I work with corporate women and business women. And the aim is to help them reclaim their life. So empowering them and educating them to improve their physical well-being and their mental well-being, with the ultimate aim to reduce the statistics of women's mental health and suicide. So, It didn't start out as that 5 years ago, but that's where the journey has taken.
What did you, yes. So important. I'll ask you a little bit more about what you're doing now in just a moment. So where were you then, if I can ask, if that's been a 5-year journey, where did you start?
Yeah, so I was one of those women. So I was a corporate woman and had been doing that for 20 years in, I guess, kind of senior support roles, media advisor roles. And what had happened for me was that my whole life was about my job. I didn't have anything else. That is just what I did. So what I noticed over time was that I was constantly sick. I was stressed. I was doing reactive eating and drinking and lots of unresourceful behaviors. And I wasn't ready to leave my job because my job was fantastic and I got paid really well and I loved who I worked with. So I needed to find something and somewhere to channel the energy and to change the way that I was being. So I started to focus on my health and well-being and realized, oh my God, imagine if I felt this happy for those 20 years. So then yeah.
It's
And
like
obviously,
it just hit me when you said 20 years. You know, that's such a long time. It's a huge chunk of our lives, and if we're not happy and healthy, that's it's really sad.
yeah, it was, and so I started to learn more about my own health, and what I was learning was not just about going to the gym, but how food worked. I didn't understand anything about food before that, really. I mean, I never got taught about healthy food in high school or primary school, and so I became a personal trainer. So I left my job and became a personal
Ah.
trainer. But when I was training women, I realized that there was a key piece missing before I came into the play, and that was their mindset. So they would come to their sessions, which was all really great, but their mindset hadn't changed in order to support the outcome that they really wanted. So then I started to branch out into human behavior and our habits and our thinking and our values and beliefs and all of that sort of stuff. And then went on to study nutrition, so that we've got all aspects, and now a whole lot of spirituality is coming into it as well. So for corporate women, this, and especially women in business too, because it is us, so we've got to keep going, but how do we take care of ourselves while we're trying to get that outcome? So it's helping the women take the journey step by step. So we're not looking at overnight change of everything. It's just small incremental change in order to build new habits and new ways of being, to support the outcome that we're looking for. So yeah.
Ah, that's great. That's it sounds like it's really comprehensive when you're talking about the mindset. Do you still do the personal training with them, or is it predominantly the
So I don't
mindset?
do one-to-one personal training with
Right.
clients so much in the gym anymore. And the reason is because um, what I want the women to do is to intuitively listen to what their body is asking for. So certainly exercise and gym and all of that play a part. But for women who want change, you know, so they suddenly decide, oh, I want to lose 5 kilos, or I want to look great for this wedding. They'll go to the gym, but their mindset doesn't support the outcome that they're looking for, and neither does their nutrition. So you can go to the gym all you want, but if you're still eating crap food and negative energy inside you, then it's
Yeah.
you're pushing it up a hill.
Yeah, yeah, completely understand. I'll just interject there. Adair, thank you for joining us. And of course, Joy has since the beginning. Adair needs to go. She actually has a live in her own group to get ready for. We'll pop back later and catch the replay. So anybody who's watching now, or of course on the replay, any questions that you've got, any comments, please post them in the comments. And obviously you can answer them now on the live, Fiona. And if it happens afterwards in the replay, because it'll be under the post in the comments, you should be able to see them. And if you're happy to respond to them as well,
Yeah.
that'd be great.
Yeah,
Excellent,
absolutely.
excellent. Yeah. Oh, that's great, lovely. So those of you who are watching, any questions, please pop them in now, and I'll moderate them, so to speak. So okay, so getting back to that. Where you are now, as you said, that mindset component, and why is that so necessary? If you can tease that out a little bit more for us, because as you said, otherwise we're going to be pushing it uphill.
Yeah.
But why is that so?
Yeah, yeah. I guess when we look at the mindset that we currently have, so let's, if I give an example of a corporate woman, so the person that I was,
Mm-hmm.
the belief system that I had was that I needed to make sure everyone else was taken care of. So I was a people pleaser, and I sought connection in doing that. So putting myself first was never on the radar, because it was taking care of everyone else and others. And the mindset that I needed in order for me to start to make change was that I matter, and that it was time for me to take care of myself and my life, and start to, I use the word loosely, but become selfish about where did I want to invest my time? Where did I want to invest my energy? Who were the people that I really wanted to be around that created good energy for me, as opposed to draining energy for me? And so there was a whole bunch of change that happened. So not only on that front before I even started taking care of my health, but then as I started to change my habits and behaviors, that can bump other people who are not ready for what it might bring out in them. So there was a level of protection that I needed to go through in order to remember that this was my goal and it didn't need to be accepted by others. I didn't need permission from others. Yes, there were certainly friends that I guess lost along the way because in changing my habits. So it was not uncommon for me to, work the working week and then come Friday, celebrate that I made it through, with this whole kind of, my life is so stressful. So then would go out drinking and drink excessively and spend lots of money on stuff that really is not fulfilling in the end. I can't really remember any of those days or those nights. So surely they didn't serve me well. And what I found was that, I would have questions about, oh my God, that you're investing $100 a week in a personal trainer, like that's crazy. And the thinking behind it was, but hang on, I spend $200 at the bar on a Friday night. How is this crazy?
So true.
What it did along the way too was bump other people's. They weren't ready for change, and it wasn't. It was my journey, not theirs. So the mindset that needed to support the habits was not only to put myself first and start to even question some of the things that I did, so for what purpose am I doing this behavior, or for what purpose am I investing my money in here, or for what purpose am I seeking validation from others? And so that mindset needed to shift in order for me to decide, actually, no, I do want to get up at 5 a.m. in the morning and get this done before I go to work and lead a healthier lifestyle and not be sick all the time. And on a weekend, I do want to spend, an hour or two writing my meals out for the week, so I know I've got food that is going to serve me well. Go to the shop with my shopping list, come home, get it organised, and then just relax and not feel emotionally attached to food or needing it to, change my emotions and things like that. So mindset plays a really big part in putting yourself first, and especially to, whatever your beliefs are from childhood that, people have taught you, what you believe about yourself. So some big work that needs to happen. But doesn't mean that it's not possible.
Exactly. It's possible, and it's so worthwhile, isn't it? Because we can change our lives around, literally, by going through whatever the processes might be for changing our mindset. So, wow, there's heaps of what you just said then that I can ask more about. That's great. Thank you. So that first of all, that idea that we feel selfish if we're considering ourselves rather than others, and I just think that relates to so many areas of our lives. I mean, generally, but I certainly related in my business, niche around productivity, and that idea of not feeling that we can say no when we add more to-dos, to our to-do list that may not be serving us as much as it is other people. And obviously what you're saying there around well-being and even the healthy nutrition and physical activity, exercise, and prioritizing that over for ourselves over whatever it is that we think we need to be doing or being with other people. So I think they're really important points, aren't they? I think they're the crux of a lot of life change that is possible, but we have to see that we're actually doing that, don't we?
Yeah. One of the things some of my clients is, even that, so at work or, at a birthday party or something, someone's got cake or particular foods. Now, it's not to say that these foods we shouldn't enjoy at some point in time, but what we, often as women too, because we don't want to let people down, is we'll just eat the morning tea that people keep bringing because we don't want them to be upset. Yet what we're actually doing is we're going against our own goals, our own values, our own, belief around, well, who do I want to be? And sometimes we eat, bad food in bad company, whereas we should eat bad food in great company, enjoy a piece of cake with your 90-year-old grandma and savor that experience as opposed to mindlessly eating food to either change your emotional state or to please other people. So it can be really hard for these women to say, actually, no, I'm just going to eat what I brought today for morning tea. And then people, oh, you're on a health kick. Or No, I'm just really honouring my body and my life. And today's not a day that I feel like investing extra calories in just a morning tea because people are celebrating getting through the week. There's different
Yes.
mindsets and connections. Yeah.
Oh, that's great. Yes. So there's different motivations there, isn't there? And of
Mm,
course, the word that you use that I was thinking when you was talking before is values. So,
yeah.
what we value on, we value, we will focus on, and we'll
Mm,
make our decisions in our lives. And so you're saying that it's what's magical for people, what's so beneficial when they start to do this work is to value themselves and the things in their lives that are important, rather than using your example with the cake of pleasing people. And when you said bad company, I was thinking, yeah, maybe it's people that, not that they're bad people, but
no.
it's in a situation that's really not nourishing and nurturing potentially
Mm,
for you if you're feeling that sort of pressure,
mm,
rather than, as you said, your grandmother, which hopefully is a really positive, more nourishing behaviour. And it shows us then that food is so much more than just the food we literally put in our mouths, isn't it?
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
And an
Joy's
energy
saying so
state.
true.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Sorry, I
everything has
cut
an
you off.
energy. No, that's right. Every food, everything has an energy. So the food has an energy. So if it's a higher vibrational
Mm.
food, so good natural food from Earth and Mother Nature and all of that, then that serves us to lift our energy and to lift our spirit. And if we're eating negative energy foods, so lots of processed foods and sugars and lots of caffeine and on a continual basis, then even if we want to lift our spirit, it will always bring us back down because it's a lower energy food. So it's not to say that we don't have it, but we just consciously choose around, why am I having it? And yeah, if it's, like I said, if it's a negative energy food, high processed sugar, but it's in great company because, we're celebrating and we've got lots of love around, then it kind of equals it out.
Mm.
But yeah, when you're in a not
Yeah.
a great state and you're just drinking or eating to try and change that, it's it's a very difficult process to
Ah.
change that state of being. Mm.
Oh, I love that. I love that. I think I haven't thought of, because when I think of vibration, I think of law of attraction, and I haven't
Mm.
probably before thought about it in regards to the food that I'm eating. But you're right. It will, depending on the food itself, which is what you're saying,
Mm.
and then also the context, the situation for us to be eating, both play a big role in whether it raises our vibration or lowers it. I think
Mm.
that's really powerful when we know that, when we see it
Yeah,
that way.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah, that's great. Thank you. And so getting back to, hello, Kathy, lovely to see you. So any questions you've got, darling, or comments, please pop them in the comments below the video. So moving back then to the mindset,
Mm.
how can we, is there a way that we can, what is the first thing that we can be doing with regards to our mindset? If we've never really considered or appreciated how much our mindset is important in terms of motivating, our habits, as you said before. How can we start to turn that around in regards to our mindset?
Mm. Great question. And which one of the million things should we start with? I find, I guess for a lot of women that are in this space in terms of running business or corporate, so they're very driven women, they're very independent women. Um, but we
Mm.
also have this sense of needing to control a lot of things, and so needing to know the answers for everything. And I find what does happen with women when we move into this initial space. So there's a desire for some kind of change. It doesn't need to be physical change. It can be the way that we're feeling, the energy, the way that we're
Mm.
being. Why have I got such bags under my eyes when we connect it to, the different types of foods and things. And so what the first thing that really helps is to bring conscious awareness just to who we are, how we're being, how our emotions are. All of this can be really, really interesting because these driven women, we don't have time to worry about emotion. We don't have time to worry about how I'm feeling. We've got to get this done. And so it's very,
Mm.
dominant and masculine energy. And
Yeah.
part of it is coming back to self. And that can be a really hard thing if we've never done that, or it's been shut down early on. So coming back to, well, what do I want and what do I want to feel? And so the mindset shift is really about changing to I matter and I deserve this. Yeah, and looking, I think the conscious awareness brings our attention to, I keep going back to this being, but that is the core of what I try and focus on, is how are we being as a person? So it kind of feeds into, our own standards of behaviour and showing up in the world. And then what we expect of others, how that feeds into it. So that it's a huge thing, but I think the first fundamental thing is to bring conscious awareness to how you're living each day. So for a lot of women, I ask them, when we initially start out, because we're looking at 3 different elements: the food, the mindset, and the movement. But the mindset stuff is giving yourself permission to try and to stuff up is a really powerful one. These women tend to be perfectionists because that's what we've been taught. Get everything right, make sure everyone else is taken care of. You can't crash and burn, you can't have emotion, you just have to hide all that shit away till we get to this point of going, actually, I don't want to do that anymore. I've got this whole bag of crap that I've been carrying and I want to release that. And we can see that plays out in women's bodies, and when these women start to release the connection to carrying stuff and things that have held them back and these beliefs, we can see the physical response in their body is that, no one has a meal plan. That's the beauty of it. So it's through the emotional release that their body changes, and then through the self-love and self-honoring of putting good stuff in, means that, the gut and the mind are connected. So we've got good stuff in the gut, so we've got good thinking in the mind. It tends to open up from a grey or dark place into a much more light-filled place. And just this real sense of consciousness. So certainly we work on mindset stuff in particular coaching sessions, and we need to, break down stuff. And I say stuff because everyone's different. But yeah, the first thing is just bring conscious awareness to how you're being, what you're doing, what you're eating. As I was saying, when we start off, we just write down the things you've eaten for the last 3 days. And most women, they're not sure, they have no idea. So when we can bring that conscious awareness to what we're eating, then we can see how did that action play out into how I was thinking, or how I reacted, or how my energy is, or how, my face is broken out in pimples and I'm 40 years old, all these sorts of things that we can start to bring the connection towards. So, and then from that place, we're able to bring gratitude for self, gratitude for others, and then start being that kind of person that we've admired from afar. We start to make choices that serve us better. Yeah.
Oh, that's wonderful. So it's very much holistic approach. As you said, it was the food, the mind, and the movement. Are they the 3 sort of areas that you focus on with clients generally?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
When they're ready to go next level, then we start doing body talk, and we look at how the body reacts to things, what messages it's sending. It's I find it just fascinating.
Yeah, it sounds it. I just want to say hi to Julia. Lovely to see you, darling. Any questions or comments, please just post them below. And so what was that body? It went out of my head. The second, body talk. Yes. What does that mean?
So it's I guess it's a blend of kinesiology and spirituality and a deep connection with the body, and so what emotions and energies have been trapped in the body. So with some sessions, we can go back to pre-birth to find out how was the cells compromised at a particular point and how that's being carried through. It's fascinating. So the body will the body will tell us what it needs and what's been holding us back. But I keep going to this word, fascinating, because as a practitioner, my role is to ask and receive the message. And sometimes stuff comes through that you cannot, there is no way I could have known that, or no way that, you know, when someone's doing it to me, that they could have known that. You know, everything is an energy. So every thought, emotion becomes an energy. Then that goes around our body in a cellular level where that gets stuck. So then how, again, some of the belief systems. So if we believe we're not worthy, then that may hold in a particular place. So maybe in your reproductive region. And so then if cells are compromised, they will head to that area. And then we look at things, we'll have, you know, people have PCOS, or they might have endometriosis and all sorts of other things. And then how our external activities feed that by the foods that we eat and the energies that we have. And so we have this rolling problem that, you know, by changing some of those aspects as well, because the body has told us, then, you know, we can start to suppress some of those, I want to say emotions, but it's not emotions, some of the symptoms that we're seeing. So there's a whole kind of energy phase that comes in together. But basically on a cellular level, it's the body telling us, you know, where the weaknesses are, or, you know, things that we need to focus on, external factors that might be impacting. So if there's toxins around, and how they can be impacted in your body. So it's, the words woo-woo want to come out, but that's not really woo-woo, because kinesiology is quite an accepted practice, as is Reiki. So I guess it's a blend of all of those, you know, to create body talk. So yeah. Some clients we use it, some clients we don't. Depends where they are at on their journey as well. You know, if people are only just putting themselves first, then talking about their body, talking to them, it's probably going to send them off on the cuckoo radar. So, you know, it's kind of like a development journey, and when they're ready, then we get to that point.
Yes, I completely get you. So do you use your intuition and intuitive messages, so to speak, that you then can tailor what you think that or what you feel that the client needs at that time?
Yes, certainly a lot more now. And I think I've always had this intuitive and this kind of connection to something, sending messages, which had been shut down for a long time. But certainly I would say over this last 2 years, a lot more of just trusting what comes through. It's, some of the messages are for clients to interpret, but a lot of the time it's quite a clear message about what we need to focus on, as well as some of the data and the evidence that we get from, you know, the client about their body, about what's happening, about the stress levels, and opening up that awareness for them, how they can see that, well, this is the message I'm getting from also what I'm seeing, you know, and part of it is really, what do we have to lose by focusing on this and improving this? A lot of intuition, even journaling and angel cards and things like that now, a lot more. But again, it's for each client to, you know, if they're interested, cool, and if they're not interested, that's okay. But I do find that the space that I've created means that they're far more curious now, because they've also seen me come from a corporate life of, you know, suits and perfect makeup and everything, into this world of, wow, actually maybe we really need to just be living.
Yes, love that. Love that, and exactly, you're obviously a really great example. So, so I can get a sense, definitely can feel how you have your creative, spiritual side shows itself, so to speak, or manifests when you're working with your clients in that way. So, as well as you said that, and that's actually a really good example of the balance between, you know, what I just said, that creative, spiritual being the yin or the feminine energy, with with also the information you get, the data, so to speak, the results of, I don't know if you run specific tests, but whatever, as you said, a food diary, if they for those 3 days, that you can tell what it is, and they can, of course, as well with regards to their eating. So there's that balance between that yin and then that yang sort of energy there as well, which I think is great. To me, that's the best of both worlds. Would you agree with that?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. And I think for me, once I learnt that and understood that, so for me it was always all or nothing too. So it was black or white, it was masculine or feminine. And now the ability to have the two intertwined, and knowing when you've got to turn one up because you need an outcome, and when you've got to turn the other one up because you want to experience something else. So but again, in corporate world, no one mentions the word masculine or feminine energy.
No. No, exactly right. I never did, that's for sure. So agree. But that's great that you have that balance. So we've only just got a few more minutes left, but I first of all I want to ask you a little bit about, or ask you if you have, how do you manage your productivity, your day-to-day working? It sounds like you're a ball of energy. I can feel that, which is wonderful. You're such a great example of what it is. Yeah, a great role model. So is there something, how do you manage those early mornings? Are you a naturally early morning person, or how do you get your stuff done?
Yeah, good question. And sometimes I'm not sure.
Fair enough.
I guess originally setting the habit of, getting up early, it was driven by I have nothing to lose. So if I manage myself, then I can get up at 5 a.m. I just know I need to be in bed by 9:30. So now I get up around 5:30 and I'm in bed by about 9:30, 10 o'clock, So it's having some structure that certainly helped. And being, see, structure takes care of the thinking. And then when you're in that zone, then you can do the creativity and the flair and whatever. There was a time where I didn't have balance. So when I first started business, because there was structure in my day when I had a corporate job, I would go to the gym, and then I'd have, shower at gym and breakfast at, near work, and then I'd be at my desk at 9 o'clock and I'd work through. So there was a lot more structure. Whereas when I started business, I just thought it had to be on all the time. So I would just work. And I actually stopped going to the gym and stopped eating healthy, if even at all, because I just felt that I had to get this done, which in turn created a spiral downward to depression and a whole bunch of things that didn't serve in any positive way, but have actually helped lead me towards focusing on women's mental health. So so everything happens for a reason.
Exactly.
Of late, I've been trusting more of the spiritual guidance or divine guidance of what I should be working on, what I should be focusing on, which has taken a lot of learning in terms of letting go of some of the structure. So it's still very scary for me in terms of, but shit, who will do all this work?
Yes. So, that's the fear talking.
Yeah. So it's finding that balance. And for me, what I have enabled myself to do over these past about 2 months is to release some of that structure in the morning. So I still wake up at 5:30, but I don't need to be at the gym at 5:45, and I don't need, because I'm changing my energies. So instead of getting up and getting that dominant energy, in 6 o'clock we're pumping iron, we've got the music going, now it's a little bit different. And what I did try and do was trying to do that as well as journaling and meditation all at the same time, which is just a whole mess of energy. So for me right now, I spend time a little bit slower in the morning. So I still get up at 5:30. And I nourish with a greens drink, and I do some journaling of whatever's coming out of my head. I have some music on. I meditate for 4 minutes because 4 minutes just works for me. And then I start to get on with the day and I start to think about, okay, well, what administration things do I need to do? Because I like to just get those out of the way early. And then, sort of by the time, around 9-ish, I'm heading off to the gym or walking the dog, whatever. And then getting back into the zone of focus and creativity, depending on the day. So does that work well for me at the moment? It's okay. I'm not sure that it's my desired, my favorite type of work. I think for me, I really prefer to get up in the morning, get that dominant energy, and then relax in the afternoon. And I say relax, I'm still working, but
I understand.
the reading or the studying or the creative fun stuff, as opposed to having it flipped around. So I do work best with structure, especially business and needing to, or not need, I shouldn't say needing to, but wanting to organise so that I have good food. Because working from home too, it's really easy to go, 6 hours and not eat because I don't have an alarm or I don't have someone saying, oh, it's lunchtime, you have to have a break.
Exactly.
So it's taking care of business and taking care of self at the same time. So
that's
so
great.
I need alarms. I use alarms on my phone to remind me to drink water, eat some food, take a break. I run a calendar schedule so that I still have pretty high standards of self, so I make sure I'm on time, and so all of my client bookings are in my calendar, and even time for study and time for family and all those sorts of things. So
sure.
There's always room for improvement, but it seems to be working okay without me having any extra grey hairs at the moment.
Well, that's good, and I love that you're experimenting, so to speak, inverted commas, that you are looking at implementing different options and trying them on, so to speak, and seeing what will work for you best. And I think it can change for us over time. So I don't believe that we need to be completely, dogmatic about there's only one way to do it. But having said that, if that's, if people come up with a way that works best for them and they still feel the energy is right about it, and whatever their goals are, excuse inverted commas, inspired actions, as I prefer to use the use the terminology, then that's fine. It's I feel it, I call it a bit of a dance, and you just see what dance you come up with, so to speak.
And that's exactly right with clients, because they'll say, oh, you tell me what works for you, and I'm like, but that's what works for me. So give it a try, try on my style. But when you know better by trusting self, then you need to tweak it, and you need to work. There are some of my clients that, and they can't get up at 5:30, 6 o'clock. It just doesn't work for them at the moment. And that can be a range of reasons. Maybe their food isn't helping them with energy. Maybe their sleep is not very good. Maybe they've got too many stimulants, all these sorts of things. So it's kind of, I say it's like pieces of a pizza. Like your day is the pizza. You just need to work out how you make that up best for you. And for some people, that's a full-time job and study on either side and gym, and that's it. And for other people, they work part-time jobs and business, and you just play and be open to it. And if it doesn't work one way, that's okay. You don't need to throw in the towel. We just play and tweak. And I think that's the beautiful part, is that everything is just about tweaking, as opposed to you follow this program and you got to get it right, and there's no ifs and buts. And well, that's not really how life is. Life is a journey. It's a bloody long one.
Exactly. Excuse me. And that much structure, even as you said it, I could feel a bit of a tension come in my body, because it's like, ooh, that's too much. For me, anyway. For me, obviously, it is, as we've just been saying, it's so individual. Well, look, that's just wonderful, Fiona. Thank you so much. I think we've raised, quite a few different points, which has been really interesting. So, how can we learn more about you? What offerings do you have at the moment that we can learn from you or hear about? And if you can also put some links in the comments below afterwards, we'd love to explore those as well. So tell us what it is that you can help us with.
Yeah, absolutely. So this is all really fun, because everything's going through a revamp right at the minute. So you can find me on my personal website, which is fionahurle.com. You can find out about the programs that I run at inspiredwoman.com.au, and both of those are all on Facebook and Instagram.
Wonderful.
You can find me on Twitter. You can find me on Twitter and LinkedIn. Anyway, the things that you're meant to do, but some of them I'm like, oh, really? Does anyone look at this?
We have our favourites, I think, don't we?
Yeah. So as part of growing the message about inspired woman, which I guess reflects collectively inspired women that we look up to, and people that that we can take learnings from, but also that each one of us inside is an inspired woman. So in creating the movement, there's a group that people can come along and join. It was going to be all membership based, and I've decided that it's free because sometimes we just need information to get started. And then there's also some group nutrition coaching programs. So the next one, we're doing them seasonally. So the next one starts in spring. And then there's also a wellbeing program, which is more of a one-to-one program, which we focus on more elements of mindset, nutrition, movement. And then there's an Evolve program, which is it encompasses everything. So we have in that program tends to be more business women, women who have started the foundation of creating better relationships with their food and their body, and they're really taking it to the next level in terms of personal development and business growth. So there's a few different elements where people can come and play and learn and hopefully be inspired. There is interviews coming up with women in the community, so who've tend to lead the way in their particular field. So we'll be interviewing them. There's a Spotify if you want to have some music to get inspired to. And I think that's predominantly it on the Inspired Woman stuff. I'll be on your TV screens next Sunday morning on House of Wellness. Yep. So I'll be sharing my journey of depression and attempting to take my life, and how the impact of that has led towards what I focus on. And then at the Women's Health and Fitness Summit in November, I'll be speaking there. And there's a few other things and book contributions that are about to be launched. So a little bit of it. Yeah.
Yes, there's heaps. Yes, well, that sounds amazing. So there's obviously a number of ways that members of our group can find out more about you and what it is that you do offer. And it sounds like there's a lot of variety, so to speak, as well. So I'll leave it with you to put whatever links you think are appropriate that you'd like to in the comments below the video, whether it's a specific offer that's available now or some more general information. And thank you so much, Fiona. We'll leave it there, but that was really great. I learned a few things there, which is great. I always take away something from the interviews. Love interviewing the members of our group and hearing about their stories, their journeys, and their businesses and what that means to them, which I think has been really, you've showed that really well. So thank you so much for your energy today. It's been wonderful, and look forward to sharing and engaging with you again in the future. And for everybody who's watching, whether it's a replay or even straight after the video, then please, any comments, questions, as I said, put them in the comments below, and Fiona can have a look at those and respond. So thank you again, Fiona. Namaste. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you. You too. Big love to you all.
You too. Thanks.